After 43 grueling days, the longest government shutdown in U.S. history is finally over. But this ending comes with a twist, and 6 Democrats are at the center of the storm. The bill to reopen the government passed, but only because 6 members of the Democratic Party broke ranks and sided with Republicans. Their votes handed President Donald Trump and the GOP a major political victory, leaving their own party furious. Democratic leaders like Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer blasted the move, calling it a betrayal of working families and a surrender on health care. Here's what to know about the 6 Democrats who voted with the Republicans to bring the government shutdown to an end.
Hello, this is Congressman Henry Cuellar. With SNAP funding set to lapse at the end of this week, November 1st, 42 million children and families nationwide, including more than 361,000 individuals in my congressional district, are at risk of going hungry. There's a straightforward way to prevent this. Congress has already set aside emergency funds for this exact situation. The money is there. It can be used right now under existing legal authority to keep food assistance stable during the shutdown. Let me repeat, the emergency funds are available. They must be used. In South Texas, more than 361,000 of our neighbors relied on SNAP, and our rural communities are most at risk if payments stop. Across Texas, over 3.4 million people depend on this support, and 17% of households face food insecurity. SNAP keeps children fed at home and in school, helps seniors afford groceries, and sustains our rural economies. I will work with anyone, Democrat or Republican, to reopen the government, and we must fully fund these programs so no family in South Texas goes hungry. Thank you, and God bless you.
Davis says he originally planned to vote against reopening the government, but changed his mind after hearing from struggling families back home. An increasing number of families shared with me that they have been suffering daily, Davis said. He added that his vote was about supporting his constituents, alleviating suffering as the holidays approach, and bringing vital resources to eastern North Carolina. But Davis didn't let his own party off the hook, accusing both Democrats and Republicans of failing rural America.
Mr. Speaker, pursuant to Clause 2A1 of Rule 9, I seek recognition to give notice of my intent to raise a question of the privileges of the House. The form of the resolution is as follows. Whereas on October 27, 2025, Representative Chuy Garcia filed nominating petitions to be on the Democratic primary ballot in March 2026, whereas on November 5th, 2025, on the last day of filing, Representative Garcia's Chief of Staff, Patty Garcia, submitted her own paperwork to enter the Democratic primary, whereas on November 6th, after the filing deadline, Representative Garcia confirmed that he would not be seeking another term in 2026 and would be withdrawing his nominating petitions, whereas Representative Garcia's Chief of Staff was the only Democrat who filed to run in the primary at the direction of Representative Garcia, undermining the process of a free and fair election, whereas Representative Garcia's actions are beneath the dignity of his office and incompatible with the spirit of the Constitution. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the House of Representatives disapproves of the behavior of the representative from Illinois, Mr. Garcia.
Under Rule 9, a resolution offered from the floor by a member other than the majority leader or the minority leader as a question of the privileges of the House has immediate precedence only at a time designated by the chair within 2 legislative days after the resolution is properly noticed. Pending that designation, the form of the resolution noticed by the gentlelady from Washington will appear in the record at this point. The chair will not at this point determine whether the resolution constitutes a question of privilege. That determination will be made at a time designated for consideration of the resolution.
Golden said he wanted to pay federal workers and get food assistance and vital programs running again, calling the shutdown a failure of leadership on both sides. He urged the Senate to extend Obamacare tax credits, even though they weren't included in the Republican bill, saying we still have a window to pass bipartisan legislation. From the very start, Golden didn't hold back, blasting the far left of his own party for, as he put it, playing hardball politics to put on a show of opposition to President Trump.
Nearly 71 million Americans rely on Medicaid for their health care coverage, and they are facing cuts to their care and increases in their monthly premiums. Employers are already anticipating that they will have to raise the cost of health benefits for their employees next year. Prices are too high already. And the budget bill that the president signed into law isn't helping matters at all. I want to be clear on this. These cuts and these price hikes are a direct result of the Republican majority's choice to pass a strictly partisan budget bill. These cuts mean longer wait times at the emergency room, higher costs for treatment, longer drives to the doctor's office. In rural communities like mine, where more than half of my constituents rely on Medicaid for their health coverage, we will face clinic and hospital closures, increases in monthly premiums, and working families will be forced to go without care. The Protecting Health Care and Lowering Costs Act would reverse the Medicaid cuts and extend the Affordable Care Act's premium tax credits to prevent a spike in health care costs and protect health care for all Americans.
Hey everybody, I'm down here in Washington, D.C. It's Friday night, and I'm getting a little sick of this. I mean, the government's been shut down for 38 days. The House of Representatives has not been called back by the Speaker for 40-something days. The people are losing their food benefits because the president refuses to give food benefits to people. It's just mean. Airlines are getting delayed. People are coming to work and they're not getting paid. Why? Because people refuse to negotiate. I can understand everybody's got, strong positions on both sides. I was a mayor, I was a county executive, I'm trained as a lawyer and a CPA, and I've been in lots of situations throughout the years where people don't agree with each other. But they sit down and they negotiate. Union and management disagree, they have to negotiate. You want to try and settle a lawsuit, both sides, the plaintiffs, the defendants, negotiate. We want to go, my wife and I or our kids, we want to go to a different place on vacation or out to dinner. We negotiate. I mean, that's just what you do in life. But people are refusing to even talk. I understand everybody's position. Everybody's got a great, strong position. Great, whatever. Sit down and work it out. The people are suffering because of this. It doesn't make any sense. So I'm just getting a little fed up with this whole thing. I've been talking to people throughout this process, trying to get people to talk to each other. And I found common ground, with Don Bacon and Josh Gottheimer and Hurd. We did a bipartisan framework. I'm on a bipartisan bill with half Democrats, half Republicans, over 20-something people for a one-year extension. There's all kinds of things we can do. Let's just sit down and negotiate. You don't have to violate your principles to talk to people and just try and find some common ground. That's what the people want. We look stupid that the government's not even operating right now. Let's just work it out.